Hey guys, Dr. Jake here with Inver Chiropractic, and what I want to do today is take a couple minutes and explain to you guys what's going on with low back and why we see a lot of people with low back pain. Often I would say that low back pain is the most common condition that we see in our office, and what causes that is a variety of issues. But today I want to break down the low back and speak to what is going on there, why there is a problem, and kind of what's going on in that area. So if we look at your spine, it's divided into three areas. You have your neck, your upper back, and then your low back, right? So if we look at your low back, as you can see in the spine model here, your low back is the biggest area. And what I mean by that is that is where the biggest bones are. Now, specifically in the low back, there are 5 different bones, 5 vertebral bodies. And the reason as to why they are the biggest is because it's at the lower part of the spine. So if we look at everything else, right, this is where the vast majority of gravity is acting. There's much more weight on your low back than what there is on your neck, on your shoulders, on your upper back, etc. So this has a lot of extra wear and tear from day-to-day use and day-to-day activities. That is why they're so big and so bulky. And why we have that is that we want to make sure that we keep our nervous system nice and free. We want to have nice big holes back here. We want to be able to have our nerves that go all the way down to our legs being able to function as much as possible. Well, what prevents that from happening? The first thing I kind of already alluded to is that we look at gravity. So if you look at your entire spine, right? As gravity pushes down, it's going to transfer through your entire spine, and this is where the bulk of that is going to go. So with that extra force, gravity acting down on us, what tends to happen is that we tend to see a lot more stress on our discs. When we look at our discs here, those are the actual shock absorbers, kind of like what's in your car, right? These are the cushions that help support the spine, help support the nervous system, and keep your bones from being compressed on each other. Well, if we look at years of aging and years of just chronic abuse, what can happen is that gravity over time, if your low back is not functioning properly, can start to erode this and start to eat away at your discs. That's usually the most common thing that we see. The other thing that we see in a lot of people is that structurally their low back is looking pretty good, but they tend to have issues with movement. When we look at your low back, if I turn this around and show you the back side here, your low back should do 2 things. It should bend side to side, like so, but your low back should also be able to twist. It should be able to move this way. If we're not able to move properly, what happens then is that our muscles have to work overtime, and we can actually see on x-ray if our muscles are working too hard. They tend to get a lot of metabolites, a lot of things stuck in them, and that's what can show up, and we can see our low back isn't moving. If our low back isn't moving properly, that's only going to further accentuate the erosion that I was talking about earlier. It's going to cause these discs to shrink. It's going to put more pressure on the bone, and it's going to put more pressure on the nervous system. And what that equates to is more pain in the low back. Those are 2 of the biggest things that we tend to see in our office with low back complaints. And again, it's just because of the biomechanics of our spine and how our body is working with that. So we want to make sure that we have good posture. We want to make sure that our spine is in good, proper alignment, and that is why here at Inver Chiropractic, we care so much about the low back. Yes, we love the entire spine, but this is very important because our low back is the foundation for the rest of our spine. It supports everything above it, and it helps keep us upright and mobile. So if you have any questions about the 2 things I talked about today, with the force of gravity or the lack of mobility that we can see in our low back, please comment on this video below and we will get right back to you. If you have any further questions and you want to speak to somebody directly, please call our office, get on in, talk with one of the doctors. We love talking about the spine, we love talking about the nervous system, and we love helping people not only feel better, but stay feeling better. So I hope that you guys have a great day, and thank you for the time.